Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of From the Archives with the West Texas Winds. My name is Philip Hill. I'm bassoonist with West Texas Winds and principal bassoon of the Midland-Odessa Symphony. In this episode, we present Belle Epoque in Sud-America, a wind quintet in 3 movements by Júlio Medaglia. The performers are Melissa Graham on flute, Caryn Crutchfield on oboe, Chris Chance on clarinet, Sonja Millichamp on horn, and Luis de la Garza on bassoon. The recording used for this episode is from a live performance on January 26, 2014. Thank you so much for being with us, and now on to our thoughts on preparing Belle Epoque in Sud-America by Júlio Medaglia.
Hi, and welcome back to the West Texas Winds from the Archives. Today is actually already our episode 3, and we're so happy to bring this piece to you. But before I introduce it, I kind of wanted to talk to you about how we used to look for music. And with all the new technology and all of the things that make it easier to find things on the computer searches and more access to music, finding music sometimes early on with the West Texas Winds was a little bit more difficult. So even YouTube has come such a long way for us to be able to watch, find recordings of some of the pieces that we have in our cabinet, or that we're looking for new pieces to play. But before then, one of the things I used to do was go to iTunes and I would search woodwind quintet, and depending on what length of piece we were looking for, I would search by the minutes. So I remember finding this movement of a piece, and I thought that it was just a whole piece by itself, but I quickly learned that it's a full quintet piece with 3 movements. So I listened to this now what I realize is the 3rd movement of this piece, and I thought, man, our clarinet player could rock this piece. He really, I knew that you would be so incredible, Chris, and I thought, this is the Chris, he will knock it out of the park. But first I needed to make sure that he was comfortable with E-flat clarinet, because I actually wasn't even sure of that when I found the piece. So we were so excited to find a Medaglia piece called Belle Epoque in Sud-America. And the piece is a 3-movement piece. It has the title, just easily translated, says the period of settled and comfortable life preceding World War I. So we have a video with this one, which is kind of fun, and you'll probably see a much darker haired, short hair version of myself. But it's really still me. And we're going to talk about the 3 movements.
So the first movement here is entitled El Porsche Negro, which literally translates to the Black Porsche, which is a pretty sexy title for a tango. And this movement is indeed that. It's this very, very sexy music that reminds me a lot of the contemporary composer Piazzolla, who I'm sure flutists and other musicians alike adore for his repertoire. This movement, I first listened to the world premiere recording of the Berlin Phil Quintet, and this movement actually had a very different flute obligato part in the second half that wasn't present in the edition of the music that we got. So in a pretty fun, here's my Friday night manner, I took out some staff paper and a pencil and notated the different obligato part, and then put it into finale and made it all nice and easy for me to see, and chose to perform that. This separate obligato part is present in some editions. It just wasn't in the one that we had. So it's a really enjoyable, flamboyant section. It was really, really fun to play all the way to the last tutti statement, and then the very cheeky, cute ending.
The second movement of this piece is entitled Traumreise nach Attersee, which is German, which is kind of strange, but that's because it's referring to a beautiful lake, Lake Attersee in Austria. And the Traumreise is kind of referring to, this is like a dream vacation. And this piece I love, especially that it has a lot of really sudden tempo changes. It begins with this really slow, sultry tempo, and then it will just all of a sudden abruptly be off into something else. And it has a lot of real sudden mood shifts. And it's really fun to play. I also felt like for both this and the first movement, one of my favorite things about this piece, just from a fun playing standpoint, was being the bass line and getting to pretend I was a tuba or a bass trombone or something. It's actually challenging for me, a little bit out of my comfort zone. I was more comfortable at the time as a high horn player, but it was so fun to really get into that mood, being the bass line and just not pa, but kind of brash low playing. It was really fun.
Being a horn player in the woodwind quintet is not for the faint of heart. It is.
It's true. It covers the entire 4-octave range of the horn often. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so the third movement is entitled Requinta Maluca, excuse my Portuguese, which translates to Crazy Refinement, which I think is a really funny and cute title. But it fits the mood of the piece. The genre of the last movement is called a Chorino, which is translates to a cry or a little cry, which is like so cute anyway. But it is a Chorino is the first distinctly Brazilian popular music genre that developed. And it was usually just a little band of a few musicians, and they would play these crazy fast things. It's called a cry or a little cry, but the mood is always super perky and exciting, and it's full of this virtuosic writing. And as Caryn mentioned earlier, this particular Chorino is features the E-flat clarinet, and so I definitely had to dust that off to get ready for this, but it was a lot of fun. E-flat clarinet presents its own challenges, but for me, the hardest part of the piece of this third movement was just the endurance, because it's nonstop. There's nowhere to breathe. You're constantly articulating, constantly playing notes, and you just have to gasp when you can, and hope to continue alive. But I was so full of worries for this performance, and it ended up going fine. But the one thing that I did not plan for was making sure I had everything that I needed on stage to perform. And so as we were playing along, everything was going well. I felt wonderful. And then I looked down and I didn't have any reeds for my E-flat clarinet. So I had to excuse myself. Otherwise, I would just have to sing it. And I wasn't ready for that. But so I hurried off stage and went to get my reeds, and Melissa kindly stood up and gave a little address for the audience to help fill the time until I returned with my necessary equipment to play my instrument, which was something that I'm not used to forgetting. So that was fun, but then the performance ended up going well, and it was a whole lot of fun. And so hopefully you'll enjoy it.